Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. This is another message to black people, something that I want to explain. You've heard the term familiarity breeds contempt. What does that actually mean? It means that the more a person sees you, the more you're around someone, eventually the person's opinion of you will lower. A lot of times, strangers we have a high opinion of, right? Donald Trump, when you were first introduced to Donald Trump, he was this millionaire, multi-millionaire, then billionaire. He was a mogul. Then he came out on TV with The Apprentice. Then he did this, that, and the other. He's in the news. He does the Miss America pageant. Now he's running for president, and now people are saying that they hate him. Don't know him from Adam, but they hate him. Why? Because he's in their face all the time. And, the news likes to destroy anybody that they're familiar with, right? Regardless of who it is. It could be the Pope. It could be the president. Now, do they have a point? In some cases, yes, they do. They have a point. But I want to move that allegory over to black people. Now, what does the news do with black people? Now, the news and the NWO and the Illuminati, they have an agenda, right? In the United States, at least, or even worldwide. And that is black people are horrible. Black people are terrible. Black people are horrible. Black people are awful. Black people are criminal. Black people are poor. Black people are on welfare. Black people are on WIC. Black people have children. They can't afford the children. Black. So I set out an agenda because I looked at that and I said, you know what? I bet you I could turn that on its head. Do you remember the movie Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing? I believe it was. And in the movie was dealing with racism. And in the movie, you had these Italians who are European, aka white. And the Italians were super racist. But when you walked into their pizzeria, they had black people covering their walls. I mean, just covering. Muhammad Ali, basketball players, Martin Luther King. I mean, it was like it was a black shop. That's how many black people were on the walls. And Spike Lee says, why do you have these black people on the wall when you... I'm paraphrasing because I don't quite remember. And they said, what are you talking about? Muhammad Ali was the greatest. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the greatest, And it's so ironic that there are a lot of white people like that swear up and down that they hate black people, but will put money, hard on cash, on a game full of black people. Know everything, know all of their stats, know their entire biography, more than any other white person that they've ever dealt with in their life or have even looked up to. They could look up to JFK, but they don't know anything about him, but they know all the stats of all the black football players, all the basketball players, all the baseball players, all the whole 9 yards. So my idea was I'm going to create a channel to introduce to people middle-class black people. Now, as a journalist, I tend to roam around and listen to people, read people. We read what people say all day long. I'm at this for 16, 20 hours a day, more like 20. And I just came across a video of a guy. Now, here is how deeply ingrained this whole familiarity is. He shows a picture of a white person. This is subconsciously to him. The white guy in the picture is bursting out of his shirt, muscles everywhere. And who does this white guy refer to another white guy as? Terry Crews. That's the power of familiarity. If all of your references for bad are black, you're going to refer to bad as black people, right? If they show you a picture of a white criminal, your reference is going to be a black person. A black person is going to pop into your mind. So for this white guy, when he saw a picture of a white guy bursting with muscles, his go-to reference was a black man with muscles. Why? Because he's familiar in his mind with that black man having muscles. Do you get my point? So if I come out with my channel, and on my channel all you see are, and I've slipped, I've made a couple of videos of ratchet black people just as a funny reference, really. I joke around a lot. People don't get my humor. And I've talked about ratchet people, and I said we need to do away with these. They are too far gone. We can't reach out to them. They like being this way. And people have said, yes, you're right. They're too far gone. And then other people say, oh, come on, give them a chance. But no, really. We need to concentrate on the middle class and the upper class of black people. And I, in my infinite, will go back and review my videos. Even when I'm talking about poor black people, slutty black people, criminal black people, what are the pictures? The pictures are saying something completely different, aren't they? Because I have intentionally made it so that you see middle class black people, businessmen, businesswomen, kings, queens, millionaires, billionaires, entrepreneurs, realtors, black men in suits, black men in ties, black men in collared shirts, black men in graduation gowns, black men in college. And notice that I tend to try and put forth the image of the black man. Why? Because the black man is under attack. The black woman is not under attack. You can say what you want to. The black woman is not under attack. In fact, the black woman is used as a tool to destroy the black man even further. Let's take the black woman, suck her out of the black community, and use her as a tool to destroy the black man, along with us destroying the black man. But go back to that reference. The white guy looked at a picture of another white guy with muscles, and his go-to reference was Terry Crews. Subconsciously, I bet you he didn't even think about it. I bet you if I tapped him on the shoulder and says, why did you say Terry Crews? He would just automatically go, because Terry Crews has a whole bunch of muscles. I said, but Terry Crews is a black guy. Why did you reference a black guy? And he probably, in a moment of insight, would say, well, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see a muscly guy. And I want you to think about that. The first thing that people think of when they see a criminal, if they hear a story about a criminal, if they hear a story about, and you notice that the news has been slowly putting forth the idea that black people do mass shootings. Black people don't do mass shootings. Black people have never been known to do mass shootings. I already made a video saying mass shootings, serial rape, serial murder is a white thing. Hands down. On the order of 400 to 1. If you find a black person who has done anything like that, there are 400 other white people who have already done it. 400 to 1. But the news is, we got this serial shooter in Washington, D.C. He turns out to be black. Oh, we got this mass shooter at a college. He turns out to be black. Really? And notice, recently, and I'm talking about past 5 years, those are the only people that you hear. This fluke of the white guy going into the church and killing the 9 black people, and then having the black people come out and say, we forgive him. You should die. You should die as a matter of course. You do nobody any good. And I know people are going to say, well, it was a false flag. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the message. Even when a white person is the center of the whole mass shooting, he shot 9 black people in their church, the message is the black people come back and say, oh, Massa beat us. Oh, we forgives Massa. Massa can't do no wrong. You should die. You should go away. You should never open your mouth. If you are listening to me and you think like that, I don't need you on my channel. I don't need you to subscribe to my channel at all. I'm being completely serious. I have no use for anybody with that sort of mentality. I keep telling people that we don't have a slave mentality because slavery's been over for so long. The black population actually overcame Jim Crow, all that sort of stuff. The black family was intact. So the whole period of slavery was pushed behind. All of that mess, all of that muck, all of that mental insanity that was slavery was actually pushed aside, and black people overcame it. The 20s, 30s, 40s, the black family was intact. It wasn't until the Democrats came up with a final blow, give them what they want and dictate to them how they're going to live their life. No black men, no black family. You can't get any of this money unless you get rid of the black man. Welfare. And what's funny is you have black people thinking that welfare is a black thing. You're an idiot. Let me just say this right now. You're an idiot if you think welfare is a black thing. And they're talking about, oh, I can't believe Ben Carson is saying he's going to do away with welfare. He's against black people. Welfare isn't a black thing, you idiot. It's a white thing. And it has served to destroy the black family. We took care of Shaniqua if she had 9 children and couldn't feed any of them. We took care of her, not the government. And we had a society, a community that said Shaniqua should be married before she opens her legs. I have people say, you can't say that. You can't say you should be married before you have sex. Yes, I goddamn well can. Huh? You can't. People did it for centuries, for millennia, and you were considered tainted if you had sex before marriage. You could go through the entire ceremony. Husband gets you in the honeymoon, lifts up your skirt, up. This is tainted. Boom. Marriage over, annulled. You go. Now you're a tainted woman. Because now everybody knows. Oh, this woman has slept around. No, I can't have. She is not wedding material. Yes, it's been done for thousands of years. So yes, you should be married before you. Why? It gets rid of so many problems. And in 2015, it really does get rid of a whole bunch of problems. First of all, you're not running around bleeding the taxpayers. Now, I want you black people to repeat after me. Welfare is a white thing. Ready? Affirmative action is a white thing. So if anybody comes up to you and says, we should get rid of welfare, you should be shaking their hand, cheering them on. The Democrats have so used you to the point where you think the most degrading thing on earth, yes, the most degrading thing on earth, is something that is ascribed to black people. It's not. I don't think you understand how many white people are in the United States. They're at around 70 to 80% of the population, depending on whose chart that you look at. The black population fluctuates from anywhere from 14% all the way down to 10%. That depends on whose chart you look at. Nobody's counting person by person, so it depends on how they look at the data or guesstimate as to numbers. They say 11 million Latinos. No, it's not 11 million. They've actually, some other people have come out and said there's 20 million illegal Mexicans in the United States. And it grows by 1 million a year, something like that. So this whole 11 million is the tip of the iceberg. They don't actually know. I'm trying to put forward a completely different image of black people. And that is a real image. I told you in other videos, 20% of the black population is quote unquote poverty stricken. That means that they range from working paycheck to paycheck under $40,000 a year, all the way down to not making anything and being a single mom on WIC. Let me tell you, black people, do not let anybody convince you that being a single black mother is good. It is not. You are destroying your child just by virtue of the child only having one parent. The optimal upbringing for a human is to have a mother and a father. Anything less than that is suboptimal by definition. I know you can say, well, I did my best. Okay, I'm sorry, but your best is not good enough in this case. You can only be a woman. Conversely, you can only be a man. You cannot. I don't care if you attached a penis and chopped off your breasts. You cannot be a man. Bruce Jenner, you can't be a woman. Suboptimal. Now, this goes for divorce, widowhood, or just being a plain whore. It's suboptimal for a child to not have both parents. There is no if and buts about it. Your best is not good enough. Let me repeat that. You being a single mom is not good enough. You cannot be a man. Don't let anybody else tell you differently. We as a Black community striving for complete equality. I'm not talking about egalitarian where they're propping you up. I'm talking about equality of education, of wealth, of income, everything. We cannot have suboptimal children. Now, let me back away and step back and tell you the stats. It is not 70%. 60% of the Black population is married. How do I reach my number? Because I'm counting people one for one. They're counting Shaniqua 8 times. Shaniqua has 8 children. They're counting Shaniqua 8 times. They're not counting Leon and Lizzie twice for their 2 children. They're counting them once. So how do they come up with it? Black women are single. Black women, 70% of all Black children are born out of wedlock. That's because they count each child once. So Shaniqua with 8 children, that's 8 children. That's not 8 couples. You see how they're doing that? So Shaniqua gets counted 12, 8. These are all of the Shaniquas. And here's a little tidbit. They're even said on welfare. 90% of the women, black, blue, green, whatever, white, 90% of the women on welfare have 1 child. They don't have multiple children. 90%, that's a big number. 90% of the women on welfare have 1 child. They don't have multiple children. It's the news that promotes all of these horrible things. They want you to, first of all, live in fear. And at the pinnacle, at the top of the mountain, they want you to be in fear of the Black person. That includes you, Black women. You who are being used against the Black man. I want feminism. I want equal rights. A Black man has never suppressed you. A Black man has never passed the law against you or passed the law for you. Why do you have that so twisted? If you don't have your Black man's back, and I'm going to get to the whole having our back in a second here. If you don't have the Black man's back, who has your back? You think those white women cheering you on who are actually lesbian, talking about, we want equal rights, we want equal pay. It's all a lie. First of all of that is a lie. Everything that they're talking about is a lie. The entire feminist movement today is a complete and utter lie. It's nothing but lie after lie after lie. Oh, let me put up this chart about how women are being oppressed today. Lie. Take it from me. You can just write lie right across it. No, but women don't get equal pay. It's a lie. Yes, they do. And in fact, women are paid more. If that was the case, why don't you see women engineers bursting out of the seams? If we could pay them less, right? Engineering costs a lot of money. To pay somebody to do engineering, and don't let any stats fool you saying, oh, women have made tremendous grounds. They're actually more in the engineering. No, they're not. There are schools begging because of the whole let's have equality and let's have social dynamics and let's have multiculturalism or what have you, whatever you wanted to say. They're begging to get women into their scientific programs. Women don't want to. I don't know if it's math is hard. I don't know what it is. But let's get back to the I got your back point. It pisses me off that we have Black people talking about Dr. Ben Carson. You are being used as coons. We have Black people coming on national news calling that man a coon. What the hell is your problem? Do you not know when the enemy is using you? Here's my order. Here's my command. Black people, if somebody comes up to you, points to another black person and says, this guy has raped 5 billion people. I want you to do this. I want you to say, I have no comment. Why? Because the first thing you should think of is, A, this person is probably lying. I'm going to check 10 times before I even say anything or even have an opinion. Let's take Dr. Ben Carson. He said, I would not vote for a Muslim president. There could never be a Muslim president, right? That's not what he said. He said, I'm against Sharia law. Anybody who is for Sharia law shouldn't be president. If a Muslim denounced Sharia law, I would support that person for president. Period. They reported the exact opposite. What does that show you? That's an example of how they use black people against black people. We as a community need to be like friggin' not even Jews are that way. We should be like the Mormons. Oh, Leon? No. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to make any comments until I double check, and check 10 times. First of all, before I even believe your story, and to even see, do I even want to comment on it? When I say we need a strong community, I'm talking about we need a strong community. There is no division in our community. None. People wonder why I put Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton all in the same bucket, because they're in the same exact bucket. When you have somebody get up on stage speaking to thousands of people and calling another black man a coon, a Sambo, Uncle Tom, that person isn't for black people. I'm for black people. I am for black people. I don't think you understand the terminology of what I mean when I say I am for black people. I am for black people worldwide. That means you trust a black man before you trust anybody else. Now, I know a lot of you are going to go, oh my God, you shouldn't trust a black man. Black men are untrustworthy. That is your friggin' masters telling you what to think. And the very persons that you should not be trusting is your master. Or, I'm sorry, I'm saying that too properly. Your massa is the person that you should not be trusting. Your massa is the last person you should listen to. If your massa says the sky is blue, you better double check. Go get you a blue swatch, hold it up to the sky and double check. And I said in my command, if Ben Carson says the sky is green and somebody says, hey, Ben Carson said the sky was green, you know what? You better give Ben Carson the benefit of the doubt simply because he's black. Now, mind you, you did this with Obama, and he's not even totally black, number one. And number two, he's a socialist and a communist and doesn't believe anything about America. Black people are actually more nationalistic than even white people. How do you like that? And yet you trusted Obama, who is actually untrustworthy, who has actually done his best to destroy the black community, but yet and still you trusted him. You trusted him so much that you voted for him twice in droves, simply because he's black. Oh, come on. Don't say you listen to his policies, because if you listen to his policies, you would not vote for that guy. But Ben Carson went to Harlem. Ben Carson went to Atlanta. Ben Carson went to LA. Ben Carson went to San Francisco. Ben Carson went to Georgia. Ben Carson went to Mississippi. And what did he say? He says, even if you don't vote for me, I got your back. Black people, period. Stick a period in there. That's exactly what he said. He says, out of all of these other people, I don't care who you vote for, but know that I really got your back. Obama says he had your back in his little commercials, and he turned right around and stuck a knife deep all the way to the hilt. Ben Carson said, I got your back even if you don't vote for me. And we got black people on national TV calling him a coon. National TV? Really, Negro? And you know who it was? A black woman. She needs to be cast out. What community is she speaking for? And this black woman is a professor at a university, calling somebody a coon. First of all, if you're a professor, first of all, you should have some class, and that should be beneath you. She should be cast out completely, thrown into a lake of fire. National TV. This is why I don't agree with any of these people. The Farrakhan, Tavis Smiley, any of them. They put the most biggest Sambos, and they pretend that they're not Sambos, and they pretend that they're for the black community, but they put them up, and all it is modern warfare, black on black crime in politics. That Negro don't know what he's talking about. He's a coon. That Negro crazy. Hey, massa, did I do good? Did I call my brother a coon? Oh, yeah, massa, give me some money. How about you get away from massa, build your own community, and your own community can pay you, not to say coon to another brother. Black people are not criminals. Black people are not poor. Black people are not on welfare. Do you know that there's more white women on welfare than the entire population of black people in the United States? I've said this many, many, many times, and people don't understand it. And people want to come in and argue, no, black people are majority on welfare. No, there are more white women on welfare than the entire population. That's men, women, children, goats, the entire black population in the United States. You don't understand the numbers that white people have. Numbers. Just straight up raw numbers. 60% of the black population is actually married. And they're second to only Asians in divorce rate. That means that black people, once they get married, divorce less than every other group except for Asians. Asians are the best at staying together. White people divorce like it's nothing, like they're changing shoes. It's the entire familiarity. Now black people are mass shooters. Now black people, they said black people are the most violent criminals. 75% of the black population in prison is there for personal use of marijuana. That is not violent. That is completely nonviolent. If anything, the pothead should come out the woodwork and say, hey, whoa, ho, 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 ho. No, black people are there for marijuana. They're not there for shooting anybody. They're not there for punching anybody. They're not there for holding anybody hostage, for raping anybody. No, black people aren't in prison like that. They're there for simple marijuana possession, which means personal marijuana possession. That's what black people are in jail for. Now, you can say what you want to. The laws are actually changing daily depending on what state you're in. And I mean, you can say what you want to. I mean that people say, well, just don't do the marijuana. Well, the law's actually changing. More and more states are actually changing over to marijuana being completely decriminalized, which I believe is a great thing. And black people should get behind that too. Decriminalize it, which means that all of these black men will be released. And it's not a ton of black men. Only 8% of the entire black population is involved in the criminal justice system. That doesn't mean jail. That means involved. I'm giving you this data and these stats so that you understand just how bamboozled black people are in the United States. I want you to be married to each other. I want you to raise kids at the optimal level. That means mother and father. And don't say, well, I can't get along with these Negroes. I can't find a good man. First of all, you need to make yourself a good woman. And men, you need to make yourself a good black man. You know what? It isn't even that hard to be good. What does it mean to be good? It's simply the absence of being bad. And being bad takes effort. Trust me, being lazy is quote unquote good. That's a good person, being lazy. What does being lazy mean? That means you get up, go to work, come home, eat, watch Netflix. Is that the definition of a good man? Yep. Now, these women who say, oh, I need a car and I need a house and I need this, not that, then that's not a good woman. I'm here to tell you that's not a good woman. And black people need to stop being consumers of other people's stuff. You don't need a car. You don't need a house. You need to own a business. You need to start a business. You need to investigate how to start a business, how to finance a business. That's what you need. I'm not talking about what you want. You don't need to be buying the latest tennis shoes, the latest iPhone. You need to start your own business. You see the 2020 show where the little kid is set to be a millionaire? What happened? His single mother, praise her, said, I'm not going to buy you shoes. What you can do is save your allowance money and invest in Nike. That little Negro has about 1,000 shares of Nike now. And she said, you can't buy a pair of Nikes unless you buy a share of Nike. Go look up how much one share of Nike costs. Now, he has thousands of shoes now, and I believe the company even gives him shoes just for promoting. But he's a shareholder. He has IBM. He has all sorts of stuff. That's what you need to do. Consume some shares. And the shares will pay dividends depending on what company you go with. So you will get an income from buying shares. Yes, every quarter, every half a year, every year, so depending on the company that you're with, they will pay you dividends. Now, I went from social to finance, but you need to hear this. Stop consuming. You want to go out and buy an iPhone? Why don't you buy some stock in Apple? I don't know if they pay dividends, but instead of doing all this, you need to invest. And at first, just invest in blue chip stocks. Stuff that has been here forever. Even if you're a novice, you can't really go that wrong with it. So instead of buying something, go buy some stock. And then have stock parties where you show what stocks you have. Look at your portfolio parties. Instead of showing off your shoes, show off your portfolio. Hey, look what I got. I picked up 20 shares of this. I picked up a share of AT&T. I picked up a share of GE. Instead of you getting used by George Soros, why don't you instead turn around and have George Soros pay you? You hear what I'm saying? All right. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.